Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Monday, November 21st. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you are somebody that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. First off, a couple of clarifications. Number one, the price you see over here will still be moving around and changing along with the candlestick right there. That is because the market is still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. And then second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one here, ARDX, did this in the previous watch list video, and you can see this, and this will mean a little bit more to those of you that watch that video. But hopefully remember me talking about that $1.88 mark as an area of resistance, and you can see this morning, got the break, and from there, very nice move. Bit of a pullback right now, but by no means any sort of crash or anything like that. But this is where the first update comes into play. And this update is just based on a foundational rule in charting in which states when levels of resistance are broken and closed above, you want to see them act as support. So $1.88, now going to be the newest level of support and the ideal level. Meaning if you ask Clay, what would make this chart look the absolute best moving forward? That would be if the price can stay above that area. But from the big picture point of view, as long as the price stays above this purple line, being the 50-period moving average, keyword being moving. So that line's going to move higher and higher. So basically, it's like a trend line that's going to draw itself for you. So as long as the price stays above the quote-unquote trend line, then from the big picture point of view, the price is still in the bull's favor. As far as levels of resistance are concerned, nothing fancy here, just a question of where did the party finally stop today, and that was up there at $2.20. So keep an eye on that. But overall, higher highs and higher lows, and that's what matters most. Next one, PXMD, and crazy day today. Started off big gap up. Price went all the way up there and some poor souls bought right there. And then after that, the price continued to pull back. But within the big picture point of view, so yes, if you're a day trader and you bought right there and your plan was to buy and sell within 10 minutes, then from that point of view, the chart looks really, really terrible. But assuming you care about the big picture point of view, even with this big pullback, there's still an opportunity to build a higher base, which is why this area of support down here at the $1.91 mark matters. And I'm not saying this will occur, but just for example's sake, if the price were to come down here, bounce around and then head back up, what would you still have emphasis on big picture? Well, from the big picture point of view, you'd still have a set of lows there. You'd have a set of lows there. And when you envision these as stair-steps, those stair-steps would still be progressing in the upwards direction. And that's what it's all about. You just want to see prices making progress. And again, in this situation, quote-unquote progress being defined as $1.91. In terms of levels of resistance, if the price tries to get itself turned around, key area of resistance seems to be right up there around that $2.30 mark. So keep a close eye on that. So yeah, big pullback today from its highs, but from the big picture, like I said, there is still an opportunity at some progress. Next one, COSM, and a very, very interesting movement today as the price gapped up, ran all the way up here, came all the way back down here, and is now starting to fight its way back upwards. So a lot of volatility on this one, a lot of volume, but that's what you need in penny stocks, right? You need some volume or else you enter into potential liquidity traps, but good solid volume here. And really the key level here, that seems to be still be the key level of resistance is right up there at 18 cents. You can see it rejected the price back here. And yeah, when the price did break above it this morning, made a nice little pop before dropping back below it. And then when the price tried to make another move, once again, 18 cents was that struggle area. So 18 cents will be that key breakout point. And you got to think a lot of people are watching that. Not that anything is guaranteed, but does it become rational? Does it become reasonable to assume that if the price can get back up to 18 and push up through it, that break in and of itself could create additional buying pressure? That is a more than plausible thought process. So keep a close eye on 18. And then as far as levels of support are concerned, main level to watch is going to be that purple line, which as I've talked about already is the 50-period moving average. In fact, you can already see right there once behaved as support. So if there is any sort of deeper pullback, just keep a close eye on that level, which is valued at 13 cents. Next one, AMC, and this will mean a bit more to those of you that watched the video from Thursday, but talked about the green line there and how the price was hanging around there, but you had to give it credit where credit's due because the price was holding strong. And yeah, today got the nice move up this morning. Sure, it was a bit of a pullback, but you can see even on that pullback, didn't even go down and test that green line. So moral of the story there, the bottom part of the sideways channel has held strong, which just reconfirms that down here around 725 is going to be that key general area of support. And I do want to add in one more level because, yes, up here we still have $8.20 as the top area of resistance. But what I'm curious about now is this trend line right here. This trend line, you got to think that a bunch of people are going to be watching it. In fact, let me do this to make it separated. There we go. So yes, up there matters. But like I said, the first key battleground before you put really any emphasis on right there is can the price break through this trend line right there. But if it can, then it would, again, no guarantees, but it becomes reasonable to think that the price at minimum could go up there and test that level at 820. Next one, NIO. And first level I'll start off with is this red line that I mapped out previously at 1085. And I just point that out as a great example of the power of charts. You can see this opening 30 minutes price came up here in coincidence. I think not right there. Price came back down there. Same exact thing that it did right there. No, don't get me wrong. Am I saying that 1085 can never be broken? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it makes sense why the price did struggle at that level. So you want to keep a close eye on it moving forward in terms of, if this upwards little movement here continues. As far as levels of support, I think a level that a whole lot of people will be watching now is officially that level at $10.25. If you look back through things, you can see support right there, and then once again support. So you're going to have shorts wondering if that fails, is that going to pick up downwards momentum? You're going to have longs saying, well, it's bounced several times before. Both people have rational arguments, but that's why risk management matters, because somebody's going to be right, somebody's going to be wrong. But that doesn't take away from the fact that 1025 is certainly going to be a very watch level. So keep an eye on that, and then again up there at 1085 as that main area of resistance. Real quickly, wanted to pause and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online training that I'm offering here in a couple of weeks. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to help build consistency as a trader, then certainly get signed up for the free training. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box. If you're watching at my site, there's an area right there on the webpage that you can click to get signed up. So like I said, if you've been enjoying what you've seen, then I want you to get signed up for the free live training. Next one here, ARDX, and did this one previously. Although I want to bring things down because as you're seeing here, the price is knocking on the door of a very, very significant level. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that level there and this is one of these levels where I'm not trying to impress you. I'm not trying to apply this to some sort of great or secret discovery. You got to think that a whole bunch of people have noticed this area right up here at 181. Once, a couple more times there, multiple times today. So while nothing is guaranteed, when you have this amount of people watching a level and wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it becomes very valid to think that if the price can come up to that level and get a break up through it, that break in and of itself could create quite a bit of upwards buying pressure. So definitely keep a close eye on $1.81. In my mind, that is by far the most intriguing part of this. And then even just from an overall standpoint, so we have this big old resistance there. We have this trend line right here. So in all actuality, there's just a big ascending triangle here that is starting to form, and it's just a question of can the price get up above the $1.80 mark. A lot of eyeballs going to be watching it next week for sure. Next one, TSLA Tesla, and this one continues to suffer, continues to get beat down, and I'm going to go ahead and just get rid of that line there as it served its purpose for now, and same with that level. And the first adjustment I'm going to do is move this level down to the more accurate level, which right down there at the 177 mark. So going back here, you can see 177 did behave as support. Fast forward to today, and not exact, but again, support and resistance levels have more of a range element associated to it. So certainly today, to give credit where credit's due, at least the bulls did not let the price just crash down through 177. So that'll by far be the key level to keep an eye on. And to give some credit where credit's due, but there is a but. Yeah, there is a nice little upwards channel here that has formed. But what happened before this? Well, you had this big downward surge right there, which in all actuality has created a bear flag pattern. Now, let me be very clear. Just because something's bearish does not mean the price will go down. Just because also something's bullish doesn't mean the price will for sure go up. So I'm not saying that this is for sure guaranteed, without doubt, going to break to the downside. I'm just saying that, yes, there is an upwards channel that has formed, but I would be a little bit skeptical of it until the price can prove itself to be a bit more strong. So that's really the best way to, I would say, summarize Tesla here headed into next week. A bull flag on the 30-minute time frame. Excuse me, bear flag. I think I said bull flag. I meant bear flag. Next one here, DLO, and I wanted to put this one strategically because same general idea right here. A little different, but the idea remains the same. So yes, the price is uptrending on this one. You can't take away from that, so I'll change that to green to point out, yes, the price is uptrending. But then you also have this resistance area right there. And so, yes, you have an uptrend, you have a wedge, but you got to ask yourself, well, what was happening before this wedge here formed? So let's just get the wedge to keep the pattern all the same color. So we have our resistance, we have our support. Well, before the wedge, you had this big downwards move, which is just giving you a bear pennant pattern. So again, yeah, be excited. And who knows, maybe if you're trading that, you already made some money, with the bounce. So yeah, it is a nice bounce. There is an uptrend line. I'm just saying that Don't get overly excited because within the grand scheme of things, this is a bear pennant. But like I said on the previous one, just because there's a bearish pattern doesn't mean that the price will for sure go down. But you want to keep an eye on those couple areas of resistance. And you got to think that a lot of people are going to be watching and wondering if the price goes on there, does it break and get continuation? So I think that'll be the main question on people's minds. But you also have to give credit's due. It has been uptrending. So, is it going to create another surge in the upwards direction? That's also a valid way of thinking. But point being, this one's gotten a lot of volume the past few days, has been very volatile. So from a trading standpoint, worth keeping an eye on. Next one here, AAPL. And the premise here is pretty simple. Very popular stock and a very basic line to draw. So you can introduce in, if you just want to call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, is going to be that trend line right there. So not a great discovery. Got to think a bunch of people are watching it. So if the price can come up to that level and get the break up through it, does that break create additional upside buying pressure? Seems like a plausible scenario. So definitely, something to keep an eye on right there as far as the 152.50 mark. And then as far as levels of support are concerned, keep an eye on that 50 period moving average, and which you can see has just done a fantastic job of respecting that as an area of support. That's actually pretty crazy. So keep an eye on that. And really, there's a very nice little tiny wedge pattern. So we have our resistance, and just using the 50 period moving average as the lower trend line, then you have the nice move up right here. And you have like a little miniature kind of poor man's bull pennant here. So bull pennant right below a very key breakout point. Let's see if Apple can get the push up through there next week. Next one, TQQQ, which is the most popular ETF in the market these days based on volume, and it's a way to track the QQQ. So if you believe that the NASDAQ market is going to go up, then you could buy this. It just allows you entry at a lower price level. And pretty crazy here, but I've had that trend line in several days, and you can see that this morning there was the gap up, but wow, that did not last long at all. Down it went, back below the trend line, and then wouldn't you know it, you can see that once again, the price is having some struggles at that red line right there. So keep a close eye on that. However, even if the price does break the trend line, as has kind of been the theme, be excited, but don't be too excited, because not that far away, you then have that purple line there, the 50 period moving average, which could very well act as resistance, which it's already done a couple of times back here. So like I said, breaking above the trend line, don't get me wrong, that is a good step in the right direction, but there's still more work that would need to be done, and that quote unquote bit of work would then be that 50 period moving average. In terms of levels of support, first key level to watch, going to be that little area right there. So you can see we have this little wedge pattern that's forming. And if the price does come down and break through that area of support, then at that point it seems very realistic that the 200 period moving average could be tested, which is down there at 2040. But yeah, all eyes on that trend line, then all eyes on that 50 period moving average. If the price can break through both of those, then you got to think that that's a really good sign for the NASDAQ. So that wraps up the top 10. Again, if you like what you saw here, then I want you to get signed up for the free training in a couple weeks. It'll be Thursday, December 1st at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So I hope to see you there. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy these, do two things for me to help communicate that you enjoy. Hit that like button, leave a simple comment down below, and I appreciate those and thank you in advance. So again, get signed up for the class, hit that like button, leave a comment down below. Thanks for watching. Take care. Have a great weekend.